Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Yo Blood, enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, Funky Blood. You have not started a show session in Call-In Studio and cannot yet receive calls on Weird Medicine. Please visit the Call-In Studio website and begin your session. Welcome, Dr. Steve. You is now in the host room and can manage your funky callers from the Call-In Studio web interface. Laws you as a mess, dat for show.
Huh?
Plug them in there.
Okay.
Hello?
Vinny?
Yeah.
Hey, Steve. Dr. Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Is this a good
How's it
time?
going?
Is this a good time? You said tomorrow, and then I couldn't tell when that email was
that
written.
Was yesterday. So
okay.
Yeah, that's today. So
Okay,
I'm
good.
good right now if you are.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We'll do you first today.
Good, good.
And tell me
Okay.
what do you want to plug today? Because it's been a while. So
Probably my latest movie that came out in January is still kicking butt. It's called Beyond Impossible. And you could talk about my website, VinnyTartarich.com. We could just do those two things.
okay, so VinnyTortarich.com. You still pushing the no seeds? I mean, no sugar, no grains.
No sugars, no grains, and no seed oils. You can ask me about all that stuff.
Okay, no seed oils now. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then tell me the name of your movie again.
The latest one is called Beyond Impossible. I've done 3 now. 3 movies.
Shit, the last time I talked to you, you hadn't done any of this stuff, so we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just ask me about the movies. I'll
will.
just talk about them.
Yeah, I will. No, I know how it goes. I'll just ask you about the movies, and then you'll do the rest of the show. So
Pretty much. How long do we have?
I don't know. What do you need? 15, 20 minutes, something like that? Because I've got...
Yeah. That'll cover it.
Yeah,
That'll cover
I have another guest here. Is PA Lydia is here, and my wife Tacey is here.
Hello.
And we'll introduce
Hello.
everybody. And
Hello.
Dr. Scott, you know, he was on when you were on a long time
Yeah.
ago. Before.
Oh, yeah.
But it was back in the hundreds. You know, we're at show number 450 or no, more than that.
It's more than
500.
It's getting close to, I think it's getting close to 600, I think.
Is it?
I think so.
Wow.
Anyway, that was a long damn time ago. So it's been too long, man. And we're all well. 2 of us are fat and need help, and then 2 of us are in perfect shape. So we'll talk about that.
Who's who?
All right, this will
This
just
one.
take a second, buddy, and then I'll bring you right up. Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
I did get praised today at the doctor's. I'm down 10 pounds
Way to go.
from
awesome.
seeing him.
Well, good for you.
I walked out of there like I was like the queen.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, here's the template. How are we doing in the waiting room, Scott? Are we up and everything's going?
Yeah, everything. I mean, we're going, but the video did stop again.
What do you mean it stopped?
Well, I mean, it's not going.
What do you mean? Well, it's on. It's just on that thing.
Well, they had me on there a minute ago, but now there's our banner.
No. It's just the banner. Is all that's supposed to be up.
Well, I was on there a minute ago.
Yes, and then I put it on the banner.
Okay.
So the banner, the thing that says starting soon is moving.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
good.
Well, okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Some fucking
Start
genius.
the fucking
It
show,
stopped.
will ya?
It stopped. Is the thing moving at the bottom?
Stopped.
Yeah, it's
and if
moving.
I don't tell you, you'll be yelling at me for not telling
Hey,
you.
it
So,
stopped.
goddamn, I'm fucked either way.
Oh, no.
Woo!
Oh, boy.
Y'all
Oh.
married?
Wow.
You guys married?
No.
Interested?
No.
I started to think I needed to get in on it a little
Hey,
bit.
girl. Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. So it's
I
just
just didn't
not
know
on
whose
him.
side I'd be
The
on.
Well,
his
I don't know if
camera-
it's on or not until
I know.
it's on.
Well, I know, but what I'm asking is, can you see people in the chat room? This is what I'm asking. so you'll
Which I
know.
said yes.
Yes, and I heard that,
Okay.
and then you said, but the video's not on, and then, but if you can see the thing at the bottom moving, scrolling, then it's on.
Okay.
It's just static.
Got it.
And then when I put
Right
you
there.
on, I'm going to put you on right now, and you're actually on,
Yes.
but you can't see it because it's delayed by about 30 seconds.
Got it.
And let's just make sure that you come up, and then we'll be good. Make sure that everybody can see Scott. There you go. All right. Did you see you come up that time? No? So you're even farther behind than
No.
I am. You see it now?
No.
Still not. Okay, so the delay is
Quite a delay.
quite
That's
a
all
delay.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there we
all.
go.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Let's do it.
Phew.
Oh.
All right. Sorry, Vinny.
Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve.
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose.
That's an excellent question by Mike Bergman in there. Do you see that?
Exacerbating my inevitable woes. I want to take my brain out.
Because magnesium works on anxiety. Do you see that in there, Scott? In the chat room.
All my ailments, the health equivalent to Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want to requiem for my
It's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio and the longest running show on this channel. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider who gives me street cred with the wacko alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And I got my wife, Tacey, here, my partner in all things, Tacey. Hello, Tacey.
What's up?
And we have back from sabbatical, we have P.A. Lydia. Hello, P.A. Lydia.
Hey, hey.
You're on a 1 week sabbatical.
I know.
This is a show for people who had never listened to a medical show on the radio. If you got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical providers, or you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call at 347-766-4323. That's 347.
Pooh head.
Yeah, visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. I can't mention contractually. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on the show without talking it over with your doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, pharmacist, chiropractor, acupuncturist, yoga master, physical therapist, or whatever. And as the music goes away, thank you, everyone. Hello, Dr. Scott. How are things at simplyherbals.net going?
Oh, my God. Nasal sprays are going off the shelves like
Excellent.
crazy.
All right, very
Good.
good. Very
No,
good.
thank you.
Excellent Christmas
Yeah.
presents.
Excellent, Kristen. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're doing
stocking
well. Thank you.
stuffers. Check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. I do want to say a hearty, happy birthday to our friend Cardiff Electric, who is our network president.
And again, it's not his birthday.
No,
but
to-
you know whose birthday it is?
It actually is his birthday.
According to Facebook?
Yeah, it's Pete Davidson's birthday today.
right.
We are recording this on Pete Davidson's birthday. I don't want to dox him by giving out the actual date, but I guess everybody knows. It's November 16th.
If you look at Facebook, you know.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so happy
How old
birthday.
is he?
Happy birthday.
He would be. I don't know if he wants me to say. So, but he's getting close to a big one. Let me just put that. Let me just say
Cool.
that. Yeah,
He's a baby.
I was going to say, we used to be that age.
he's a good way. And
long
if
time
you
ago.
are a fan of Pete or not a fan of Pete, or you want to, or whatever, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/weirdmedicine. We had Pete on our show last week, so we had him for a whole 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
That's a long time.
Says something about either how busy he is or how bad his ADHD is. I'm not sure which, but yeah, we captured his attention for 10 minutes and then he was on his way. But it was a fun 10 minutes, and then we talked about him for 20 minutes. By the time the first time we met him. Anyway, let's get to our guest here. We have a guest today, and he has not been on the show. I look back. since like show number 130 on the podcast side. And so we're at show number 450 something or 500 something like that on the podcast side. Anyway, he and we have a whole section of our website at drsteve.com dedicated to his number one subject, which is no sugar, no grains. Ladies and gentlemen, Vinny Tortorich. Thank you. Hello, Vinny. Are you there, my friend?
Hey, Steve. How's it going, man?
Doing great, man. I want everybody to check out your website at vinnytortorich.com. And it's like I said, it's been so long since we have talked that you have 3 movies out we're going to talk about. You've moved on a little bit from No Sugar, No Grains to talk about No Seed Oils. But for the people who don't remember you, give us a little bit of your bio as far, just the Reader's Digest version. You've trained a bunch of people in Hollywood to optimize their health and their bodies and all that kind of stuff. Give them just a little bit of your bona fide so we'll know who we're talking to.
Yeah, I have a degree in exercise physiology and nutrition, and I was a fitness trainer for 40 years, one of the first ones when people started doing that in the early 80s. And then by 1990, I was in Hollywood. So I spent the last 30 years of my career in Hollywood and quickly ended up working with a lot of celebrities that entire time. So you get the moniker of celebrity trainer. It doesn't matter how much education you have at that point.
Right.
If you work with the right star, you must know what you're talking about, which is BS.
Of course.
But I did that, and at some point, one of my bigwig clients convinced me to write a book. So the book Fitness Confidential came out about 10 years ago. And along with that, we started doing the podcast. Again, early podcaster. We've done now over 2,200 shows.
Oh, my goodness.
And yeah, that thing is still rocking and rolling.
How many a week are you doing?
And we do 5 a week.
Oh, let's see.
I do 5.
Full
It's
time.
like a regular, it's like a regular show. It's just 5 a week.
Wow.
I tell you, fitness people are obsessed. I mean, and I'm sure that you
yeah.
have people that listen to every single one of your shows, too.
They are.
There are people who come up to me whenever I do talks or whatever. They tell me about my life. They know more about me than I know about me.
That's interesting. Yeah. An interesting experiment would be to do Vinny Tortorich trivia and have some of your super fans on there. You'd be amazed at the shit they know.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of people that showed up to some events here that were telling me stuff about our lives that I'd completely forgotten about.
Yep.
It was like, hey, thanks for remembering. and Clint,
Steve.
you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
It's so weird that sometimes people will tell me they know the type of soap I bathe with.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's when people know that,
Yeah.
that's when you start to worry about your existence. And I think we've gone a bit too far.
Well, when you're doing five
yeah.
shows a week, you end up talking about everything. I mean, that's what one thing Howard Stern said is, he back in the day when he was doing 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, you end up having to talk about every single aspect of your life because you got to fill that time. And this stuff slips out. And
So to speak.
yeah,
Yes.
and there you go. But anyway, all right, man. Well, listen. We've got 2 people in the studio who desperately need to lose weight, 2 people who are at their perfect ideal body weight.
Yeah.
And that would be P.A. Lydia and Dr. Scott. And then Tacey and I have, COVID.
We let it go.
COVID fucked us up bad, dude.
We just let it go.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
It's
the
screwed
alcohol.
everybody. Yeah.
It's the alcohol.
Yeah, a lot of people did the alcohol during COVID. I think they just wanted to be alcoholics to begin with. They just used COVID
I'll
as
agree
a good
with that.
excuse.
Yeah.
People did that with ice cream, too. It's like, well, it was COVID.
I did
Of course,
that.
I was having ice cream.
I kind of did that too.
But Tacey was working out 4 or 5 hours a week, and she's one of the strongest women I've ever met. But like I said, both of us need to get back to our ideal body weight.
You have to do both, right? You have to work out and eat right. You can't.
Well, as I tell everybody, exercise, and listen to what I'm saying because I'm a fitness trainer. exercise is a poor way to lose weight. Now, if you have your diet spot on, exercise can magnify the weight loss, but I've had no shortage of people who have told me, I trained for 20 weeks to run a marathon and successfully crossed the line heavier than when I started.
Yeah.
And that proves right there that exercise is not how you lose weight. And I spent my career telling people how to exercise. That's just not how you lose weight.
Yeah.
It's all sugars and grains. It's all processed foods. You know, you just have to cut it out. I had a PDF on my website, VinnyTartaris.com, and it's been there. I've had it there for about 8 years, and it was free. And I've had over 300,000 people download that PDF and lose millions of pounds, and I'm not exaggerating, millions for free.
Right.
And I just put a $10 charge on it about 3 months ago because I wanted, as a social experiment, if you charge something for something, people might take it more seriously. So now I'm actually charging for $10 for something that's probably worth more like $100.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's like that son of a bitch. Now I got to pay $10 for this thing.
Sorry, Steve. Can't help you, brother. You should have gotten it for the last 8 years.
Oh, I've got it. I think I copied it onto my website a long time ago. Actually, I'm not sure.
You better
We
take
go
that
to
down.
You probably have it. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. It's been so long since I've been on the show because, you know, here's how crazy the world works. People say to me on Twitter, "Hey, man, have you ever heard of Dr. Steve?" I'm like, "Of course I have." We're he's been on my show. I've been on his show.
Yeah,
we know
yeah,
each
absolutely.
other.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it is crazy. I'm posting the link right now on Twitter. If people want to go to Twitter, you know, at Weird Medicine, you can see it, or you can just go to VinnyTortorich.com. The link will be in the description, and we'll put it on the pad data on the SiriusXM side. But yeah, man. So listen, we haven't talked about this in a long time on this show. Talk a little bit about why grains particularly are an issue, because if you look at that USDA food pyramid, you're supposed to get 60% of your calories from grains. I mean, that Vinny Tortorich must be crazy. Certainly the USDA couldn't have tried to slip some bullshit past us.
Well, look, they just don't know any better. They're taking their cues from the registered dietitians who, you know, most people don't know this, but the RDs, the registered dietitians, were started by a church group, the Seventh-day Adventist, and they started this in 1865. And then there was a young man that worked for the church named John Kellogg, Dr. Kellogg, who started the famous cereal company. C.W. Post was also part of that group.
I remember hearing
and
about
they started pushing all of these grains. And when you think about what happened during the World War II, you know, we had a Great Depression. We were coming out of a Great Depression, and farms were too big to fail. So, you know, we subsidized grains, and that's when the government went, wait a minute, we like being in the grain business. We can barter worldwide with this stuff.
Right.
So we just made grains a priority, telling people breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Have your oatmeal. Eat your cereal. You know, we all grew up hearing that, but it was exactly the wrong message.
Yeah. Yeah, and
so
that's the part I've
elevated
heard is that, you know, the government was pushing grain sales, and that was one of the reasons why they made that pyramid the way it was. And so tell us what the problem is. I have my hypothesis from an evolutionary standpoint why huge amounts of grains can be a problem for people, and it's not just fat. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are people that have issues with gluten, and gluten sensitivity has been demonstrated to be a real thing. We used to laugh at that, and you know, celiac sprue and inflammatory issues. And so, why are grains such a problem?
Well, for one, they're not the grains we used to have. You know, they've been GMO, they've been bastardized, they've been genetically modified 5 different ways. But on top of that, grains are worse than sugar. If you can even imagine that, grains are worse than sugar because sugar will give you a quick spike. Grains will give you a glycogen load. You know, so once you take grains in, they go into your stomach and they get released to your liver, and they keep releasing slowly over the next several hours, and you have to keep releasing insulin to cover that. And when that happens, you become insulin resistant, and then you're on 3 different medications, Ozempic and metformin and everything else, trying to fix a problem we never had 30 years ago. Right? The more grains we eat, the more Ozempic and metformin. And by the way, if you ever see those commercials, they will tell you, hey, this will get you down to an A1C of 7. Guess what? You're still perfectly sick at 7.
Right.
So the drugs will not even get you out of type 2 diabetes.
Right. Yeah, I've cured people with type 2 diabetes through application of diet, but it's rare because getting people to actually do it, we're so ingrained, no pun intended, to eat this way that it's really hard to get people to actually comply with that, with the diet that will cure their diabetes. So, my evolutionary hypothesis, I mean, I'm interviewing you, so I should be letting you talk, but I like to think of how our ancestors, our distant ancestors grew up in this, evolved into this environment. They had very little carbohydrates in their diet. They couldn't. Where were they going to get them from? And so maybe there were some berries every once in a while, or there'd be some, when the wheat or whatever, it wasn't wheat then, but grass or whatever, seeds, and they'd eat those and get something out of that. The body still needed carbohydrates, so it would store them very efficiently. And so when you found that, it was like, oh yeah, we got some carbohydrates. Let's go ahead and store it in the liver, store it in the muscle, make some fat tissue, because the lean times are coming.
Right.
And but now our bodies are still geared that way, but you can just go buy whatever you want. Agriculture through agriculture and through classifying French fries as a vegetable and other things like that, we can just gorge on carbohydrates, and our body will continue to do what it was created or set up to do, which is to store those very efficiently. So, anyway.
You're absolutely right. And just to add to that, we were never set up. Look, think about it. When you and I were kids, Steve, we had a season when there were apples, a season when there were strawberries, a season when there were watermelon.
Yeah.
Now you can get all of these fruit year round because we ship them around the world.
True.
So there's a problem there too. Remember Vidalia onion season or Mackinac peach season, and that doesn't exist anymore. You get a peach in midwinter.
Yeah,
no problem.
That's interesting.
It's great.
Mm-hmm. And we think of fruit. Well, fruit's got to be good for you. But an overabundance of anything is a problem. So tell us a little bit about seed oils, and then, Vinny, tell us what are people supposed to do? What should they actually do about this? We've identified the problem. So I've asked you 2 completely different questions with a terrible interview technique. So let me back up. Tell us about seed oils, and then we'll talk about what people should do.
Yeah, when I first started hearing about seed oils, from some of these doctors that were coming on my show 10, 11 years ago, I was like, what is this all about, right? I was always told that canola oil and safflower oil and all of this stuff is good for you, right?
Yeah.
All these or monounsaturated oils.
Yeah.
But when I started looking into it, and you start looking at the disease that comes along with that, because there's too many omega-6 to omega-3 combination, not to mention that to extract any of these oils, they have to cook them down so much, and I'm making this very simple, but there's chemical processes to make these oils happen. So they're so highly processed that literally what you're eating is akin to, like, you remember like the 3M machine oil that you would put in a sewing machine or a gun or whatever? Mm-hmm. That's the quality of the oil that they want us to eat. And all of these seed oils, they use them to stabilize all of the fast foods and all of the, shelf-stable foods. So they're everywhere. They're ubiquitous.
Dang it.
They're just everywhere. So, yeah, it's horrible.
I'm doing everything wrong.
What about
Because we canola oil was sold for the longest time, and that was the good oil. Go ahead, Tace. Yeah,
avocado oil? Is that considered a seed because it's got a
just because it's got a seed in it.
a big ass?
I don't think they
it?
extract it
No,
from the
no.
seed.
Avocado oil is that's actually a fruit oil, so it's good. It's kind of like olive oil.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
here's the problem with olive oil and avocado oil. You have to go out of your way to make sure that it's 100% pure, because check this out. Our government allows these oils to be cut up
Yeah.
to 40% and still be called 100% pure oil. So
Yeah.
you can Google this. There's something called the UC Davis olive oil study they put out every several years. There's a book that I'm not associated with called Extra Virginity that will teach you how to go and get the good stuff.
Oh
Okay.
goodness.
Yeah, it's just like what is it? Tic Tacs say they're 0 calories, but it's just because the threshold is below what the government says you have to say is 0 calories. But if you eat a whole thing of that, it's about 300 calories or something. It's crazy. So and in your grains, of course, there's a certain acceptable amount of grasshopper parts too. And Google that if you think I'm lying.
And
So.
insect parts in peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Parts
So
per billion.
I'm looking here, Vinny. It says here that industrial seed oils are highly reactive and unstable. They contain inflammatory linoleic acid, which is associated with heart disease, cancer, dementia, and other heart problems. So I'm going down right now when we get out of here and throwing away the canola oil that I often cook with, just because it's a high smoke
heat,
temperature
yeah.
oil. You can use it for that, but I'm done with it. I do have a big,
And by the way, Steve,
Yeah.
that's another lie. They tell you that olive oil does not have a high smoke point. It does.
if it's
Guess what?
real.
Butter has a high smoke point.
Yeah.
Lard has a high smoke point. Tallow has a high smoke point.
Yeah.
They lie about that. Canola oil is no better than any of those.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I do, we go to the Asian store to get our avocado oil because it's like half the price of when you go to the highfalutin place. And the olive oil people will tell you, the ones that make the real stuff will tell you that you can cook with olive oil. The reason the chefs say don't do it is because the olive oil that they're getting in those giant cans isn't the stuff that you can cook with.
High quality,
They can make salad dressing out of it, but they can't cook with it. But if you get the true, pressed, pure extra virgin olive oil, you can absolutely cook with it. So, well, that's
Yeah.
wow. Every time I talk to you, I learn something. So,
Yeah.
so what should seriously? What should people do? What should they do? They go to your website, download the PDF for $10 that used to be free, and then what else should they do? But what should they really do?
Well, and look, if you want something else for free, the people that put my movies out, Gravitas Ventures, this just happened this week. They now have a section on YouTube. Gravitas, it's called Gravitas documentary channel on YouTube. They're offering my first two movies, Fat a Documentary and Fat a Documentary 2, for free. So you're going to have to watch ads, but you
Okay.
can watch it for free, but you got to watch a few ads while it's going on. So that's another way. Those two movies show you the history of how we ended up where we are, and once you understand that history, you can work backwards
Okay.
and fix yourself.
Well, I'm tweeting out the link to Fat a Documentary right now as well. So check out our Twitter at weirdmedicine.com if you want these links. And you could just go down through whenever you happen to be hearing this. So that's awesome, man. These movies, put me in one of your damn movies. I want to be in somebody's movie.
You'd be
Well,
perfect.
I'm doing a third one right now, but I'm not bringing any doctors into this one. I'm doing just an expose on something else. I'm not talking about it right
Okay,
now. But
okay.
you know what? The next time I need doctors, you should be in my movies. I always use whoever's on hand, and it's always Eric Westman and those guys.
Yep.
I would love to have you in one of my movies.
I'd love to.
So absolutely.
and
you,
the,
you could be anything. You
the
don't
difference
have to
between
just be a doctor.
That's
You could
right.
be
I could just
anything.
be an
You could
extra.
anything.
Steve, it's always on
Walking-
hand for
walking
you.
by.
And
He's multi-talented.
and unlike those guys, I'll just say whatever you tell me to say. So
Oh, good.
yeah,
Good.
tell us.
So Steve is a whore. He'll say whatever I need him to say.
Fucking A, fucking A.
As his wife, say yes to that.
Tell us about Beyond Impossible movie. Now, there's Beyond Meat and Impossible burgers. So, does this have to do with that, or is this something completely different?
No, you hit the nail on the head. What happened there was when all that stuff started hitting the market, I started looking into it because I'm always at these food conferences and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, they're saying this is good for the environment, but they have to manufacture this. And then I started, the first things I started learning was the pieces and parts are manufactured in China. And so they're spewing stuff into the atmosphere there. And then they have to ship it to the United States where they put it together. So now you have more manufacturing and the fact that you have to use a lot of dinosaur juice just to get it here.
Yeah.
And so as far as the environment is concerned, they're wasting a lot of energy and they're putting a lot of CO2 carbons into the atmosphere. And then I started looking into how healthy this stuff was. And what I figured out was you're probably better off eating Oreo cookies for dinner than eating this stuff. And I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
By the way.
It's like the energy bars are basically candy bars.
Yeah.
Some of these things.
It would be nice if these were candy bars. That would be a step up. These things, you want to talk about seed oils and stuff that shouldn't go in your body, that's what's in here. It's worse than a candy bar. It's worse than drinking Coke and smoking cigarettes.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think a lot of
God.
people were not eating the Beyond Meat because, well, first off, it was a novelty.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't meat,
Yeah.
but it kind of does, it's got the consistency and it tastes pretty
Similar,
much like meat. We fooled our kids with the Impossible burgers when they came out. But I think it's that for people who want to eat meat but don't want to be responsible for killing an animal. I think that's really where that comes from. And I will say that back in the day when I was in high school and dating, there was a Seventh-day Adventist food store, and I think it was in Brevard, North Carolina, and they sold, back then they had steaks that were made from sheets of pressed soy stuff. And I know it sounds terrible, but they looked like steaks. You could cook them like steaks. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I never did get a second date out of that one. But I was going to say I fooled my date that they were real, but maybe I wasn't
Maybe
so
you
clever
didn't
after all. But they were really actually not that bad. And I'm fine with the soy stuff and tofu from time to time, all that. I don't have a problem with it
But
myself.
isn't soy bad for some body types?
Soy
Vinny
is
will know.
an abomination of a food.
Come
what I
on.
thought.
I'm sorry, Steve. I always
There's
bring
a billion
bad news.
people
That's why
eat it
you
every
don't
day.
Invite me on the show.
Yeah.
Soy is an abomination, and I
Well,
want to
tell
say
us
this
why,
about
because
the
I'm-
killing of animals.
Yeah.
In Beyond Impossible, I have no shortage of footage where we show combines chewing up rabbits, and they got to stop these combines every so many hours, and they pull out 5-gallon buckets worth of frogs
Isn't that interesting?
that get caught up in these combines. And we're talking rats and frogs and snakes. Everything gets chewed up into these combines. And here's the other thing: a lot of these guys have to hire snipers to go out at night and kill wild hogs. Using infrared rifles, stuff like snipers.
Yeah.
And they'll kill 3,000 pounds of meat per night,
That's
and
crazy.
it just all goes to waste because there's no one to give it
Because
to.
there's no one.
What do they do with that?
Right. Because they're
What if-
making meatless things, so they can't eat it. So what are they? Oh, Jesus.
What about the estrogen level
Yeah.
in soy? What do you
talk
have
about
to say about that?
God damn it, Vinny! Now I'm going to learn something else, and it's gonna change how everything that I do. But that's okay. That's what we're here for. So
Okay.
yeah, talk about that.
The estrogen, the estrogen that we get, from food, soy will cause it. Some grains will cause it. But the biggest reason we have estrogen problems is because we eat everything and we drink from plastic. So if you have a bottle of water next to you in the studio, knock it off the table.
No, don't
throw
do that.
up, get it from the tap the way you used to.
That's right.
But that's where we get most of our estrogen
What?
from just offloading.
What the
and
hell?
we breathe it in too.
Okay, estrogen from plastic. Now I got to look this up because this one, now I mean, you're hitting on something I know a little bit about, which is just basically, I was an organic chemist
BPA.
before. Estrogen from plastic. Oh, are you talking about from BPAs?
BPAs, yeah, and parabens and everything else. And by the way, there's a great book on this written by a guy he's a good friend of mine. He's been on the show a half dozen times.
Yeah.
His name is Dr. Anthony J., and he wrote an incredible book years ago called Estrogeneration.
God damn it! Look at
And
this. Look at this.
he
I'm
talks
seeing
about
it.
how we're breathing this stuff in.
Okay, this is not some bullshit thing right here. This is from the National Library of Medicine, Environmental Health Perspectives from 2011. Most plastic products released estrogenic chemicals, a potential health problem that can be solved. Now, that was in 2011. I would hope that they would have figured this out since then. But they're talking about bisphenol A. And God damn it, Vinny. I can't have you on my show anymore.
Phenol A, phenol B, and phenol C. It's all of them, Steve.
Yep.
So, and what happens is, what they do is they'll say phenol A is bad, right? So they'll get the chemist in the lab,
And then they'll
guys
change it
like
to phenol
you,
B. Right.
and they'll say, come up with a phenol B and then a phenol C. I think they're on phenol F now. I'm not being funny.
Yeah, that's how you get around the DEA,
This is what
too.
I
is
do. I keep up with this stuff. This
Yeah.
is all I do. I don't make this stuff up. I'm not that good to make this stuff up.
No. I'm, that's very interesting, isn't it? So there have to be plastics out there that don't have this shit in it. Because, we used to make...
Impossible to make. It's impossible. Look, I remember the last time I had Dr. Anthony J. on the show.
Yeah.
I had one of those Nalgene bottles, that I use when I climb mountains and everything else.
Yeah.
And, the little triangle on the bottom, I said, look, it's got a number 7 in it. That's supposed to be the good one, right? He goes, it's as bad as all the rest.
Wow.
That was the last day I ever drank out of plastic.
Says the exact chemical composition of almost any commercially available plastic part is proprietary and not known. A single part may consist of 5 to 30 chemicals. Plastic item containing many parts may consist of greater than 100 chemicals, almost all of which can leach from the product, especially when stressed.
Would you say soy is as bad as
Plastic.
or just eat soy and be okay with it, or
And just don't eat it with plastic
just don't
fork.
eat it a lot? I mean, like tofu or
It's like you're asking me, should I smoke crack or
Okay.
should I smoke crank?
Got
Which
it.
one is better?
Yeah, well, which one is? I'm just kidding.
Again,
Should I
say.
smoke cigarettes or smoke cigars? Which one is better?
Yeah.
You've really got me wanting a
Soy
cigarette
is-
right now, but okay.
Soy products have been shown to cause cancer, and you just name it. It's soy products, it raises estrogen in your body.
It does. I know that.
I cannot. It's horrible. It's a horrible product. It shouldn't be legal.
Yeah, I wonder. I do know that the way soy is processed here is different than the way it is processed in Asia, and Dr. Scott can attest to that. And I as a matter of fact, I watched an Asian chef today on YouTube. Well, I didn't watch it. I was driving. I listened to him, but he said, "Listen, the tofu that you get in America very different and they process it differently." So because there's billions of people that eat soy every day as a staple of their diet, and they seem to do fine with it. So there is something about the way that we're processing it, I'm guessing. What do you think about that, Vinny?
But here's the deal. 92% of all soybeans grown worldwide, not in the United States, worldwide, 92% is owned by Monsanto. And Monsanto is the same group that puts out the product that doesn't So in other words, when they put their Agent Orange on it, but now they call it something else. When they put their Agent Orange on that soy, it doesn't die, but it'll kill all the weeds around it and all the other stuff around it.
Yeah.
Right. So 92% of all soy is grown by one company, by a global international, company. So if you think you're getting better soy somewhere else in the world, good luck.
Okay.
It's not happening.
Okay.
Wow. Well, okay.
I'm
you.
always the bearer of bad news,
And
man.
the-
I'm
and-
sorry.
We need
Just
it.
trying to figure
End
out
of show.
If,
Thanks for
yeah.
Now I'm just
Debbie Downer.
I'm just going to retire. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last show.
Debbie Downer.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm going to have now. Okay, so I thought I knew something about the chemistry thing, and I was wrong about that. I'm going to, by God, I'm going to do a deep dive on this soy thing, and because that's so counterintuitive. I just got it. But I'm not saying just because it's counterintuitive doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Well, and the thing, I'm kind of like you in that regard, but you wonder if there are other things causing the cancers that the soy only has a little bit to do with. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
so
yeah.
many people. There's
I don't know.
depending on where you're living at the time. Or
Maybe
what
fermented
else
soy.
you're eating, or
Well,
I love tempeh. It's a smoked soy.
I know if you have
I
PCOS.
couldn't hear the question.
Oh, that's because Dr. Scott's only been doing this show for 15 years, and he still doesn't talk into the microphone.
No, I was trying to run away after all the bad news.
I think the question I have is whether the BPA, with its like estrogenic effects, whether it actually binds to the estrogen receptor and like potentiates that activity within the cell.
Yeah. I don't know. That's
or
an
whether
excellent
it's
question.
more of like a hormonal response in the
I
body.
don't know. We need to find out.
We'll research.
We're gonna be doing deep dives on all this stuff for the next 6 weeks. So Vinny's brought up a bunch of stuff. Well, you have really gone beyond since the first time that you and I talked. Because back then it was just, no seeds, no nuts, don't eat those protein bars, this kind of stuff. This is fascinating stuff.
We were
At the
going to
very
have
least, we should-
tofu for dinner tonight.
I was gonna make fried tofu tonight, and I was gonna fry it in fucking canola oil. God damn it!
Sorry, Steve.
That's okay, man. That's okay. No. You're doing the good work. People, if nothing else, to get people like us too, who think they know stuff, to question. Always be questioning this. Are we doing the right thing?
Absolutely.
I was taking nicotinamide riboside every day, and then I find this article yesterday that it potentiates breast cancer, and if you get breast cancer, could potentiate metastatic disease. But what they were really looking at was nicotinamide levels inside the cells. So that doesn't necessarily mean if you're taking it as a supplement, it's going to cause that. But it did give me pause. So we should always be questioning these.
And we
things.
you and I both started taking it, and I saw the same article yesterday, and we both started taking it because it's shown to help with melanomas.
Right.
So you wouldn't get melanomas.
Right.
Skin cancer. So
Well, and we're more likely to get melanoma than we are breast cancer.
Yeah,
So for dudes, but these are all things we have to constantly be searching for better data and more knowledge and all that stuff. And I think that part's great. So, yeah, man, we're gonna be doing. You've given us a lot to think about today. I got to make you shut up because if you say anything else, I'm just gonna jump off the cliff.
We really appreciate you, though.
Yeah.
Thank
we
you
do
so
absolutely.
Much.
We love Vinny.
No, and I appreciate you guys, and I do appreciate coming on. And Steve, you need to make an appearance on my show again. It's been a while.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, you can just school me about all this stuff, all the things that I thought I knew. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Perfect.
But now, if you got some questions about death and dying, that I can help you with. So check this man out. He actually knows what the hell he's talking about. Check out our no sugar, no grain section at drsteve.com. I've had that up since the first time Vinny was on. And then check him out at VinnyTortorich.com. It's Vinny, like VINNIE, TORTORICH.com. And then check out his new movie, Beyond Impossible, which I do want to see this. Mm-hmm. And this whole thing about the combines is messing with my head too.
Yeah, mine too.
We just don't think about these unintended sort of consequences of the way that we do things. We think that we're gonna. It's like the lady who had the that was doing the electric car demonstration, and they didn't have a plug-in for it, and then they went and got a plug-in from inside the building, and they said, "Well, where does this electricity come from?" And she said, "Well, it comes from the wall." It's like, okay, where's the electricity
Where?
generated? It turned out that it was all coal-fired,
Right.
electrical plant. So, what are we doing? So we're, even on simple levels like that, we're not thinking things all the way through. So, yeah, very interesting, man.
Well, Steve, it's even worse than that because, when I yell about electric cars all the time, it's like not only do we have to burn coal and or diesel to fuel these cars, you also now have all this lithium. Number one, they're using slave labor to get this lithium. And when the battery is done, we have no idea
What to do with them?
how to get rid of them.
Right. Yeah, that's a problem. The solid state battery I'm interested in should have less of that BS. It'll go 500 miles and on one charge, and then it'll go 5 minutes to charge it up. It's supposed to have less toxic crap in it. Toyota's working on it. We'll see. I'm interested in clean fusion myself. That's where I think that we need to go. But we are still decades away from that. We're always decades away from it. It almost seems like it's a conspiracy, but I'm not a
Well,
conspiracy guy.
let me tell you why. I've been saying for years we
He's
need to
got-
split atoms to get energy.
Yes, of
But
course.
the reason we're not going to do that is because in 1975 we had an alliteration where they said no nukes,
Yep.
and the hippies went with that, and the hippies are still saying that. And we need to get away from no nukes because it's the cleanest energy that we can possibly have.
Yes.
And no one's talking about it. It's the only thing we should be talking about.
Fusion will be even cleaner because its byproduct is basically heat and water, and we can utilize the heat. So that's the one I'm really interested in. Nuclear, your plutonium type stuff. There's some byproducts from that can be weaponized and things like that. But the thorium reactors, we should be absolutely exploring that. I totally agree. If you want to do something if you want to not put greenhouse gases into the environment, if that's your goal, then we should be moving toward nuclear. I absolutely agree. So something you and I agree on, or at least you're not destroying my worldview about it, put it that way. And it's not that we don't agree. You're just killing me with knowledge that I probably should have known something about before.
I'm the
So anyway.
bearer of bad news.
No,
that's why I think.
Dude, if you're going to make us
that's why
healthier,
Adam
it's good
Carolla
news.
has me on, and,
Yeah. No, if
Go
you're
on.
no, if you're going to make us healthier, it's good news.
It's good.
And then he's the angriest the angriest trainer or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mine's pretty
Well,
angry too.
I walked away from that moniker years ago because every time I did some kind of national show, they would go, "You don't seem angry." And
Right.
it's like, no, I'm not. It's just,
Yeah,
So I
no,
walked away from that.
nobody
moniker.
wants to
I
go
still
to
own it.
nobody wants to go to an angry trainer anyway. Just get yelled at.
Yeah.
Tacey's trainer yells at her constantly. And then she hates going, but then,
I've gone to him for 10 years, and he's like, "Oh, you like that, don't you?"
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
how he yells at me. He's like, "Oh, yeah."
Wow.
Oh, God.
Can I go?
Who's your trainer? Do I know him? Is he?
I don't
is he
know if you know
famous
him or-
trainer?
he
I-
is. He is.
No, I don't think he's famous because of where we are.
He's nationally ranked, bodybuilding.
Yeah,
dude.
he,
I'll send you a thing.
I
about
very
him.
much not enjoy him. I like him as a friend, but cannot stand my appointments. It's been
Oh,
that way
good.
for a
Well,
while.
in that case, stick with him because I was going to say. I mean, Fred Hahn is there in New York. He's an excellent trainer. There's some good trainers in New York.
Yeah.
But, some impressive guys and women there. So.
Yeah, well, if
You
we
guys
were in
probably
New
have
York,
to-
that would be helpful
We're a
information.
little bit
but
in the holler.
We're in Tennessee, so. What do you
Oh,
mean?
you're in Tennessee.
Ser-
Hillbillyville.
Why did I think you were in New York?
Sirius XM is in New York,
Yeah.
but we're in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
The internet, made it so that you don't have to be in the same place where you're broadcasting from anymore, as you well know. So,
Exactly.
all right, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're the best. Always
you.
enjoy it. It's been way too long, We got a knowledge bomb today. We really appreciate it, man. Vinny Tortorich from VinnyTortorich.com. Check him out. His website, his movies, his books. You'll learn a lot, and really appreciate it, man. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, I'll
Bye.
talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. What a good guy.
What a good guy.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I guess we're not having.
Oh, man.
what
I
was
really
going to
wanted
make
that.
tonight. Oh, okay, so we'll do it one last time, and then we gotta get rid of all that.
Yeah,
shit.
don't waste it. I mean,
I do have avocado.
3,000
I've got-
pigs died for that. I'm just kidding.
It's true. Yeah, we don't want to waste it. I'm not throwing it away.
That's what makes the tofu
Snipers
so good.
killed all.
Poor pigs.
You
Oh
think
gosh.
you're doing something good.
I know.
Those wild pigs
Shit.
they're mean though.
Well, and then I find out recycling is, uses up
I
more
essentially
resources
gave
than
up.
yeah. They don't even do it here anymore. We have the blue recycling thing, and you just put your trash in it.
Yeah.
Now. I was very disappointed by that. It always felt like I was doing something.
Right.
No, the cardboard we do, but I don't know. I think somebody's just making money off of that. Yeah, I'm just a mess right now. It's Vinny is has that effect. But anyway, all right. Do you have any? We've got a crap load of questions.
Let's do
I
questions.
did download a ton of your questions.
Do we have time?
I think so. Yeah, we have time to do a couple of them.
Cool.
Yeah, I told Vinny we'd do 15 minutes, and we ended up doing 44. So anyway, but all right.
Number one thing, don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
All right. Oh, here's one that has. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do this one.
Hey, Dr. Steve. It's Zippy from New Jersey. Just wondering if you could let me know why some pharmacies, healthcare practitioners, are requiring a 2-week interval between vaccinations, whether it's flu and COVID, flu and shingles, and others, like the 3-letter word pharmacies, will give them together. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah. So the CDC has an article out that says that the major changes to best practice guidelines for timing and spacing of immunobiologics include guidance for simultaneous vaccine in the context of risk for febrile seizures. So in kids, they're recommending that they separate some of these things because they used to, if you remember, our kid has a vaccine or needle phobia because a bunch of nurses sat down and held down his 4 limbs and then gave him a bunch of, just came at him with needles.
That happened to my daughter.
Yeah, but if you have a baby, so what are you supposed to do? Go in every 2 weeks for 3 months?
Well, okay, so what they're
They
talking
haven't,
about are live attenuated vaccines. Let me
Okay.
hang on. Okay, for people who are listening live, I'm going to pause this for a second because I want to get this right. Is something chiming out there?
Yeah, there's something that keeps going off.
What is that? Oh, okay, that's me. Okay, let me see here. Because they're talking about intervals. I don't want to say this wrong. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, I got it. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, yes and no. So there are schedules for these vaccines where, if you remember, we can go, I think, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, something like that. So they'll separate those out that way, and you don't want to give two live attenuated vaccines necessarily at the same time. Those are living vaccines, so they'll spread those out. But so this guy though is talking about flu vaccine and COVID vaccine
Okay.
the same time. And so he's saying that the pharmacies tell him you've got to separate the two. The only reason to do that, in my opinion, is if they're worried about liability from one vaccine or the other. Because if you give the two together and you get myocarditis, or you give the two together and you get Guillain-Barré syndrome, you can't tell which one gave it to you.
Okay.
That is the only reason, because there's absolutely no reason not to co-administer these two other than that. Matter of fact, the CDC says giving more than one vaccine at a visit, called co-administration, common medical practice, and is recommended. And it says flu vaccines and COVID-19 vaccines can be given at the same time if you're due for both. As a matter of fact, they're coming out with a combination influenza and COVID-19 vaccine.
Oh, okay.
So when they do that, you're going to get them both at the same time. So these pharmacists, to my knowledge, are just making this up. But that would be the only reason why.
Well, that's how we did it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we split it up.
Yep. And we just didn't want to get the, compound the adverse effects. So, and that was our choice, though.
Yes.
But if we had wanted to, they would have given them to us together. This guy's saying he's going to a pharmacy where they're telling him they won't do it. So, all right. So that's very interesting. But some of the childhood vaccines, some of the vaccines can cause fever, and then if the fever is high enough, it can cause febrile seizures. So they want to make sure that you're not compounding the risk. So some of those will be separated. All right. Here's a question from Peppermint Patty.
Hi, Dr. Steve. It's Peppermint Patty.
Hello.
Or Lovett.
Hello, Lovett.
This is Patreon. I have 3 questions, but I'm just going to leave one.
Okay.
I have something going on where all my muscles, especially in my shoulders and down to my back, become rock hard, just painfully hard. A little bit of a fever, can't keep my eyes open, but there is nothing and I've gone through this twice now, about 3 weeks apart. I'm not sure what this is or how to treat it. Any help or suggestions you could tell me, or definitive answers if one comes to you, which of course they come to your doctor. Delete that last part. Control Alt Delete. Anyway, I ramble. I apologize.
No. It's good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, thank you. So, Dr. Scott, you got anything? At first, it sounded like she's having muscle spasms.
Yeah.
But then she said she's having fever with this.
Yeah, no, the first thing I was thinking is she had any injections or flu shots or any new medications or anything different recently. Would be my first question.
Have you heard of primary periodic paralysis? That's a thing where people get this cyclical form of paralysis, and it's caused by a distortion of their potassium channels.
Okay.
And that's a weird one.
Yeah, because she's going to give us a little more info than what she gave us, I think.
Yeah, she may need to come into the studio and let us really grill her on that one.
Makes me think about polymyalgia rheumatica.
Well,
classically with like the shoulder stiffness. Or
did she say shoulder? Did she say shoulder?
I thought she started at the shoulder.
Yeah, you might be onto something.
Yeah.
So there are some
and
things.
Febrile.
Polymyalgia rheumatica is a mild, usually inflammatory disorder of the muscles, and causes muscle aches and pains. I had it, which was weird because it's usually older women that get it, but dudes can get it too. And it causes pain, particularly in the proximal, in other words, like closer to the body. Distal is farther away from the body. That'd be in fingers and toes. Proximal would be hips and shoulders and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's something, but usually, fever and then coming and going like that is interesting too, because it usually comes and stays.
I was just like, because usually it lights in and sticks around for a while.
Yeah, I'm
not saying she's probably right.
What and if
Lydia's probably right.
What she needs, she may be, but what she needs to do is when it's happening, and if she has a fever,
if it really is a fever, it just feels like fever.
Go get seen right then.
Fever, low grade fever is.
If it's low grade. So go then, and then what they do is they do just a very simple blood test. And then the real test is to put you on low-dose prednisone. And if it goes away, then you've basically made the
And
diagnosis.
may I add to that, too?
Yes, of course. You have 30 seconds.
If you don't have prednisone, possibly that curcumin, turmeric,
Well,
works
okay.
a lot like a steroid. It does.
Fair enough.
Yeah, maybe a little safer.
Fair enough. I thought turmeric was more like a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, but I mean, it is anti-inflammatory is what you're saying. Yeah.
Works a lot like pred.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Check that out. So, Patty, you have your marching orders. When it happens again, go get a sedimentation rate done. Let them put you on some prednisone, see if it gets better. All right. Well, thanks, Scott, Tacey, Lydia.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking, get off your asses, and get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody. All right. Good.
Cool.
Is she in the chat room?
I don't see her. I think she was earlier, Dr. Steve, but I don't know. Let me see. I want to say she jumped out of it. Somebody left. I don't know if it's Love It or not. I'm scrolling up. I don't see her.
Okay, Bob Bobbington got his COVID and flu, so let's do the...
Still alive and kicking.
Yeah, let's let's
a
do
good
the...
thing.
Hang on. Okay, I'm just going to start from there, okay?
Cool.
Hey, Scott, is she in the waiting room? Is Lovett in there?
I don't see her. No.
Okay, if anybody in the waiting room sees Lovett, let her know that we're looking for her. Paging Lovett. We have more questions for you. But absent of that, I'll send her a message.
Yeah.
And we can maybe talk to her on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
yeah,
good.
Yeah, we should do that. Yes, that's a good idea. We'll do the follow-up on Patreon. Patreon.com/weirdmedicine. And, don't forget holiday cameos coming. And one thing I want to let everybody know about, and I think we talked about this maybe at the beginning of the show, we have Weird Medicine Bristol stool scale mugs back in stock. Go to go to stuff.drsteve.com. Scroll down, you'll see it. You'll see a video of it, and then you can click on the what is it, PayPal site, and I think they're $21 plus $5 shipping. And we're going to eat the shipping. The shipping is way more than $5, but I can't just give them away. They were expensive.
It's just like my husband to eat everything.
Yeah, that's right. Because we love you guys.
Can't make money on anything.
No, we're not going to make money
Nothing
on this.
ever.
But there will be 36 people who will have the goofiest white elephant gift that they could give at one of those stupid.
And it will cost us money.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh, and I'll throw in a couple of
he'll
our
throw
poker
in
chips
something
too.
Poker
for
chips.
you.
Yeah. Throw in some of the poker chips too.
I love those.
I sent
those
one to
poker chips.
somebody,
They're
and they
cool.
said that's the coolest calling card I've ever seen. I didn't
is
even think
cool.
about it that way. It really is it's a business card.
You get a
Oh, that's
free
really
business card with it.
Have you seen them?
No.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Well,
I'm just
honey,
on my way to stuff.drsteve.com.
You give business
Well, if you would,
cards with your
if
stuff.
she would order something from Simply Herbals,
Hey, look at
I
that.
need to get that fatigue reprieve.
and say that she's a friend of Weird Medicine, she gets a little bling.
I was thinking, you know
That's
what?
so cool.
If your stress less really works, I've got somebody that if it works for him, you might end up being huge. So I need some so I can send to him.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
bring it. I'll have it here tomorrow.
All right, Bob,
or maybe tonight.
Bob
actually.
Bobbington in the waiting room says that he took COVID and influenza vaccines together, and he is still hopping.
He's still kicking?
Still
alive
kicking.
and kicking.
Good for him.
That's a good thing, Bob Bobbington.
Yeah, and then Principled Uncertainty says fusion is always a decade away. That's right. It's always a decade away. We're 10 years away from the tokamak actually creating more. They can do fusion. They just can't generate more heat than they put in it. You know, they get energy out, but it's always a net loss. So we've got to get where the stupid thing is generating more energy than we're putting into it. Now, they did have a sustained fusion reaction not too long ago. And by sustained, we mean like 0.8 of a second. So that's not enough. So we're just going to have to. We got to keep working on it. But fusion is the thing.
Cool.
And when we have true fusion, like they did on Star Trek. So if you think about it, the Star Trek replicator
Right.
was using fusion. They would
Right.
use raw material. It could be hydrogen or something, and then they would fuse it together to make the cup and the Earl Grey tea and heat it up and the whole thing. I mean, it wasn't. You know, they were using fusion. to
But
do
it all
that.
came from poop, right?
Well, it did in Discovery.
Yes.
They were using recycled shit to make apple
make
pie.
their food.
Well, there you go.
They even said shit, which made me laugh. They had one of the enemy women from the Emerald Chain was on there, and he's the head of Federation says, "Would you like a slice apple pie?" She's like, "Sure." And so she's eating it, and she says, "It's pretty good." And he said, "Yeah, we make it from our recycled shit." And she just looked at her fork and just laid it down. It was actually kind of a good moment. Anyway, all right. Yeah, y'all can go fuck yourselves.
I'm just revisiting the whole conservation of energy principle, right, where it can neither be created nor destroyed. So
Yes.
it's more about usable energy.
That's right. Well, right. So entropy is still a thing.
Yeah.
Entropy is where the whole universe eventually grinds down. There'll be that last black hole that gives off its last particle of Hawking radiation before it just disappears, and then the whole universe is all at the same temperature. Then that's the end. Assuming that there isn't the big rip from acceleration of the expansion of space to the point where it expands so quickly that it's actually ripping atoms apart. That would be another
Now
way
we've
for
gone
the
too
universe
far.
to end.
I'll say we're from Vinny to Dr. Steve. It's
Oh,
all
right.
bad news.
Yeah. By the
It's all
way,
bad news.
we're all going to
Definitely.
die, and the universe is going to end someday, and all of this is meaningless.
And all the
But
different.
we'll be
Thanks,
dead by
everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll be back next week.
Yes, we'll see you next week.
All right. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We will see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. And now I'm just going to go fuck myself.
Good for you.
There you
too.
go.
All right. Okay, now let's do the beginning.
A lot of cursing on this show.
That damn
this
Vinny.
episode.
Yeah, this was, yeah. Well,
That was really interesting.
it was interesting. He's got a,
it was
he
a
has,
lot.
he's got an answer
Sorry.
for everything.
No,
Tootsie.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you go right ahead.
Tootsie. Yeah, I didn't mean to kick you. Yeah, but the funny thing is, I brought over, because I didn't know we were going to have him on, so I brought over a couple good articles, and they're all real positive.
Yeah. No, I have one on
Yeah.
parasitic worm infection in the eye.
Just hold on to him.
Yeah,
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 until
yeah.
next
We'll
week,
need
yeah.
them next
Yeah.
week.
Oh, yeah, no, I got them. It's all good.
All right.
These are timeless.
Are they timeless?
Okay, you ready to do the opening?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
What do you get when you combine a baseball field with a golf course? A diamond in the rough. How is a private eye, like the dry cleaners? They both do other people's dirty work. What do you call a pair of banana peels on the floor? Slippers. Whoops.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by two really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic echographic and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem my disease. So I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr.
From the world-famous Cardiff Electric Network studios, it's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve, with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medical practitioner, gives me street cred with the wacko alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And my partner in all things, Tacey. Hello, Tacey.
Hello.
And back from sabbatical, it's PA Lydia.
Hey, hey.
A 1 week sabbatical. Very nice. This is a show for people who had never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. You got a question you're embarrassed to take to a regular medical provider if you can't find an answer anywhere else. Give us a call, 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine or at DrScottWM. Are you on Twitter, PA Lydia?
I'm not on Twitter.
Okay, probably smart. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything here with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on the show without talking it over with your healthcare provider. All right. Check out Dr. Scott's website at no, that's not right. At simplyherbals.net, simplyherbals.net. We'll talk about it in a minute. Let him get his plugs in. Check out stuff.drsteve.com, stuff.drsteve.com, where you can scroll down and get absolutely the best gift for a guitar player, the possible, which is the Rode robotic guitar tuner. We've demonstrated on this show before. It's amazing. And it's under $200. Really, if you want something for under $200, but don't get them another pedal or something stupid that they'll never use. They will use this. Matter of fact, Brian May, they've got video of him saying, "Thanks for bloody coming out with this at the end of my career, you bastards." You know. So check that out. Stuff.drsteve.com. You can also scroll down and see the new Dr. Steve Bristol stool scale mug. So it's got all the different variations of stool from 1 to 7, and you can rate your stools while you're having your first cup of joe in the morning, and or you can put it in someone's stocking if you want to just see them go, "What in the hell is this?" And so check that out. Go to stuff.drsteve.com. Another stocking stuffer that's loads of fun at a White Elephant Christmas party, which we did at Tacey's friends who are all octogenarians, was to throw a couple of Flatus flutes in there. And they were like, "What the hell is this?" So it's the whistling butt plug. Go to flatusflute.com. We have nothing to do with it, even though my face is all over the thing. I've got nothing to do with it, but it's funny, and so it's okay. Check out tweakedaudio.com. Offer code FLUID for 33% off. Your order. So if you buy 3 earbuds, which are the best earbuds for the price on the market and the best customer service anywhere, you buy 3, you get them for the price of 2. So check out tweakedaudio.com. Offer code FLUID. And then patreon.com/weirdmedicine. Who'd we have this last week, Tace? We're going to talk about him in a minute, but a big mystery guest.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a big deal. It was
That's
a big
pretty
deal
cool.
for us. And then if you want me to say, fluids to your mama or ho, ho, ho to your ho, for Christmas, I will say that basically anything you tell me to say, with a few exceptions. I'm not high-pitch Eric, for God's sake. But do that at cameo.com/weirdmedicine. It's under $10. And really, it's fun. And we've had a couple of people that just ask me medical questions on there. I'm okay doing that, too, although you could just do that for free on Weird Medicine. But you're guaranteed to get an answer within 7 days on Cameo. But don't do it for that. Do it for fun. Let me say stupid stuff to your family, okay? Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Okay. All right, we're good.
Thank you.
Let me record it. Oh, no. No, you're good. No, I'm talking to me. I almost accidentally deleted everything, which would have sucked.
Okay, so I can turn it off?
Yes, you
There
can.
you go.
Yes.
But he cannot delete the show. We will shoot him.
Oh, for fuck's sake. God almighty. Oh.
That's what my brother's wife, before she died, her kids used to like jump off of this ledge. It was like 12 feet up. They would get up on the ledge and jump off of it onto the couch, right? And they would do it over and over and over again. We were sitting in there trying to talk, and they were little at the time. And she was from London, and she turns to them and she says, "If you don't stop that, I shall shoot you." And the kids just laughed, and they said, "She always says that, but she never does it." It's like, okay, we learned.
But she never does it.
Yeah, we learned what not to do with parenting because there was no consequence to that. They knew she wasn't going to fucking shoot her.
That is funny. Okay, but she never does.
Right. But by God, we had Mr. Spoon, and you only had to bring out Mr. Spoon once. And
wooden spoon? Yeah, I got beaten with a wooden spoon.
we didn't beat anybody. That's what that's the thing. You didn't have to.
that's
You bring
good.
out Mr. Spoon, and he had a scary face on him, set on the counter, and it was like,
Yeah,
okay.
I got beat with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it.
No,
It'd have been a
Coat
difference.
hanger.
Hey, it's because they had
What?
two good kids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, really?
They had two good kids.
Your mom?
No, a wire hanger.
No,
Leaves
we
like
don't
the
use
welts.
What
What?
is that
Yeah.
movie?
Oh God, my mom used to hit me over the
Discipline.
head with a what do you call it? A high
Roller?
heeled shoe.
Oh,
When
really?
but when I
Stiletto?
when I hit a F sharp instead of a G sharp when I was playing piano. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Shut the belt. That was great.
So wait, your mom that watches your kid, it was the one that was doing
Yeah,
this
I
to you?
monitor her very closely for aggressive behaviors
Oh jeez.
and discipline.
My mother was the same damn way.
Oh well, yeah. Tacy's mom was
Yeah.
something else.
I think she knows if she ever did that to me.
Yeah.
She
No,
would
I'm just
never
wondering
see
if
her
it's the same
again.
person.
My
It
mom
is the same
told
person.
my
Mommy
kids
dearest, that's
that
the
gay
truth.
people were going to hell, and I said, you know what? We don't believe that way.
Yeah.
You cannot talk to them.
Yeah, no, she was trying to indoctrinate our kids. And I was
Yeah.
like, stop that bullshit.
And they would come home and tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nene says, and it's like, uh-oh.
Come on, mother, stop it.
Well, she's the same person that I left the kids with her for I don't know an evening, and I said that, I just make sure they eat a balanced diet. So I go to pick them up, and I said, Joanne, did they eat a balanced diet? She said, well, they ate 5 pieces of fried bologna. Is that balanced? And I was like, okay, now I know. I don't need to put that on her because she can't figure it out.
No.
She looks like a bowling ball on top of a bigger bowling ball, right?
Steve, you better be nice.
She does. So.
You
No,
may
she
not.
does.
You may not get your Christmas present this year for your bad behavior.
Who said anything about a
Anyway.
Christmas present?
Yeah.
You know what? I need a Christmas list.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
We'll work on that.
How about
Don't tell me. Send it.
okay. Send me to Reno to the Mustang Ranch, and that'll be a good Christmas present.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Is it, or is it sad? All right. Let's.
I was gonna say it may be sad, actually, to tell you the truth.
All right. Let's see.
That is funny.
All right. I got you a little reverb there, my brother.
Take it. Give me some juice. I like it. I like it.
All right. What are we playing?
Let's see. How about?
And I am going to program Radioactive into this thing. I've just got to have time. I've got so many ideas of things that we could do for music that would actually be good. And yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah. No, I would love to do it.
You gonna do Stir It Up?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't know why.
Okay. Hang on. Are you gonna?
A D E A.
Wait. I gotta remember how to do it.
There you go. Never enough do it, that's right. There you go. There you go. You got it. You got it.
Okay, I got it. Now, are you going to do the 2 and 4, or are you going to do the 1 and 3 like you're doing? Because you want to do the 2 and 4, you know. You want to bring the other mic over there? So
See if you can give me the 2-4, and see if I can go with you. See if I can follow you.
Well, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. You know, you're going to hit it on the 2 and the 4.
On the 2 and 4.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there you go. You had it. Yes, yeah, you got it. That's 2 and 4.
Like, try again, yeah.
2, 3, 4. Yes.
Gotcha.
Once you get the feel for it, then you can do
Stir it up, little darling.
Okay, let me get that one going here. Okay, there you go. Okay, yeah. That sounded good. Okay, you ready?
Here we go. Yeah, I'll let you go. Yeah.
2, 3.
Stir it up, little darling, stir it up. Come on, baby, stir it up. Little darling, stir it up. Little darling, it's been a long time, yeah, since I've seen you on my mind. Now you're here, I said it's so clear. To see what we could do. Oh baby, just me and you. Stir it up, little darling, stir it up.
Keep
going. Come on, little darling, stir it up. Come on, baby.
I got figured out on this
stir
fret.
it
Hang
up.
on.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. I'll push the wood, stir it up. Then I'll blaze ye fire. Then I'll satisfy your heart's desire. Ooh, that's your part. Then oh baby, is to keep it in ya. Stir it up, little darling, stir it up. Come on, baby, stir it up. Little darling, stir it up. Come on, baby, quench me when I'm thirsty. Come on and cool me down. Oh, baby, your recipe is, darling, so tasty. When you show and stir your pot, oh yeah. Ooh. Come on, stir it up, little up. Little baby, stir it up. Come on, baby, stir it up. Stir it up, little darling. Come on, stir it up, little darling, stir it up. Come on, baby, stir it up, little darling, stir it up. There you go.
If we practice that, we could actually maybe do something.
That's funny. I love it. I don't know why I was feeling that song today, but that was pretty fun.
That's because Vinny stirred it up.
He did stir it up, didn't he? Yeah. I'm trying to read the. I could have used some background vocals there with the ooh part there from Bob or from Amanda.
I didn't know when you want. I don't know when he comes in.
Pretty much whenever you want to do it. Sean, where's Kush? There's Kush. I just saw him.
Kush is in there. Kush was
Kush is
cussing,
in there?
getting into it with somebody.
Oh, Kush was?
He said, "I'm about had it with this goddamn Twitter." What was it?
Oh no.
He needs to come on. He said something about something, and somebody came after him.
Oh no.
In his DMs, and he was
really?
like, "Listen, just because I retweet something doesn't mean that I agree with it." And that is the thing: is people will take things. It's always there's a psychology to it that people will take things the way that they think the person or that they would have
Their perception.
that they would have meant it. So people fall into this problem of thinking that other people think the way they do. So when you have someone who's real paranoid, they're going to assume that people always have ulterior motives for things. Or if you're in one of those communities where people are just bitching at people all the time, and then when you see somebody retweet something, you think they're doing it for nefarious purpose, like, oh, look at this asshole, when maybe you just think it was an interesting way of looking at it. You know? And I remember, I think in that same thread that Richard was in, I said, you know, it's the same things happen on Reddit, where the upvote was supposed to mean that this comment added to the conversation, whether you agreed with it or not, but now it's just a popularity vote. You know? All right, what are we gonna do?
Hey, let's do one more. Then I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do. You know, did you ever listen to that White House Road song? It's just
all right.
It's a
White House Road.
Yeah, or you want to just do
No, let's do it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good tune. I don't know if you guys have ever heard White House Road.
Well, they're going to now, by God. At least they're going to hear a version of it that probably isn't going to be that great.
Yeah, it'll be awful, but that's okay. It'll be fun.
Okay, by Tyler Childers.
Yep.
Oh, and I know that song. No, I do not know it. Chords. There's nothing better than damn ultimateguitar.com.
No, there's really not.
Okay. All right, I got it. White House Road, here I come. Isn't that it?
That's pretty That's pretty close. That's pretty close.
Okay.
Let's see here if we can find. Let's see if we can find that sucker.
I got it.
Yeah, I've got to find it real quick. Let's see here. Let's see here. NG. So it should be GFC.
GFC?
Yep.
Okay, I can make it be that way.
Yeah, because I transposed it up. Yeah, he plays it in G, but he capos up like 5 frets.
Capos piss me off.
You know, me too. I hate cheating fuckers. The only weird part is in the bridge. You just hold the C, and you'll know. But that's the only thing. And it's a peppy tune. It's a peppy tune.
In the bridge, or you mean the chorus?
No, the bridge. It's towards the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're on a G or C, it doesn't matter because it'll go right through it.
Okay. I do not see that, but it's okay. All right.
Yeah, it's a little peppy. Early in the morning when the sun does rise, laying in bed with a bloodshot eyes, late in the evening when the sun sinks low, that's about the time that the rooster crows. I got women up and down this creek, keep me going and my engine clean. Run me ragged, but I don't fret. Ain't got nothing that'll slow me yet. Get me drinking that moonshine, hit me higher than a grocery bill. Take my troubles to the high wall, throw them in the river and get your fill. We've been sniffing that cocaine, ain't nothing better when the wind cuts cold. Lord, it's a mighty hard living, a damn good feeling to run these roads. Keep going.
We're gonna make that like we did it on purpose, huh?
Oh yeah, I got people trying to tell me, Red, keep this living and you wind up dead.
I don't know where you are.
Troubles. The second verse. Yeah, second verse. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought we already did that. Okay.
No.
2, 3, go.
I got people trying to tell me, Red, keep this living and you wind up dead. Cast your troubles on the Lord of Lords, wind up playing on a cooling board. But I got buddies up on White House Road, they keep me strutting with my feet hang low. Right gut whiskey gonna ease my pain. All this running's gonna keep me sane. Get me drinking that moonshine, let me higher than a grocery bill. Take my troubles to the high wall, throw them in the river and get your fill. We've been sniffing that cocaine, ain't nothing better when the wind cuts cold. Lord, it's a mighty hard living, and a damn good feel to run these roads. A damn good feel to run these roads. Keep going, yep. When you lay me in cold hard clay, won't you sing them hymns with a measure praise? Tell them ladies they ought not drown, 'cause ain't there nothing that'll hold me down. See, back to sea. Lawmen, women on the shallow grave, same old blues, just a different day. Get me drinking that moonshine, get me higher than the grocery bill. Take my troubles to the high wall, throw them in the river and get your fill. We've been sniffing that cocaine, ain't nothing better when the wind cuts cold. Lord, it's a mighty hard living, damn good feel to run these roads. A damn good feel to run these roads. I said it's a damn good feel to run these roads.
2, 3, 4.
There you go.
Good job, Steve. Good job. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we should practice that one.
Yeah, that's
That might actually be
it's got
good.
pep to it. I like it.
The name of that one was White House Road.
White House Road
by Tyler Childers.
Tyler Childers. Old hillbilly tune. Trying to make it a little bit of a little hillbilly-ish. It's a good song. Yeah, it's a great tune, Sean.
Dig a Pony, that's a good one. Great bass line. I'm not up to Paul McCartney bass level by any means, but that would be a good challenge. I'd be Be a good one. Hey,
we-
seriously.
and next week. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and we are planning on doing the show next Wednesday prior to Thanksgiving.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Yes, everybody knows.
Yep. Yeah, we never stop. Just fucking do everything. It'll be my first Thanksgiving off.
I've never had. You've never had one off.
No, I haven't
in
had
all
one
the
off
years
since I've known
known
you, but
No.
it's the first
Yeah.
time because they pissed me off last time. Well, when we were smaller, I would do, I had 2 nurse practitioners who had little kids, and so I would do Christmas and Thanksgiving every time so that they could spend, have Thanksgiving with their kids.
I remember you.
And Christmas. But then I would take the week after Christmas off. That was the sort of quid pro quo. And I would take those 2 PTO days that I regained by working those 2 holidays, and then I would only have to take 3 actual vacation days. And so it worked out for everybody until last year when we were going to do the same thing, and I was going to work Thanksgiving, Christmas. I was scheduled to work, and they came to me and said, you're not going to be able to take your vacation. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they said, well, like 6 people have all signed up for that week. And it's like, what? Well, we've gotten so big that people were just throwing their vacation onto the calendar without regard for whether somebody else already had it or not. And so I didn't take my vacation, and I worked Thanksgiving and Christmas. I said, that's the last effing time that's going to happen. And I revoked everybody's calendar privileges. So now the only people that can change the calendar is me and the program coordinator.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that was the stop to that. But we just grew so big, and I just didn't, that happens when organizations grow. Shit that used to make sense doesn't make sense anymore.
No.
So anyway. Well, I hope you guys like that with Vinny. I was fascinated by it. I always am fascinated by Vinny. I never know if half the stuff he's telling me is bullshit, but I will have to say everything I looked up on the fly, he was 100% right about.
At least it's a compelling thought for sure.
Yeah. When he was selling his vitamins and stuff, that I had the ability to kind of refute some of that, but I couldn't refute a damn thing today.
That's funny.
I don't think the soy thing can't be right. It can't be right.
No.
Can't be an abomination.
Can't be, no. I guess it depends on your
maybe
your
well,
definition of abomination.
I'm going by God find out, and I'll have him on, and then we'll debate it. We'll debate soy. That's one thing I could probably debate with him that I could make a couple of points with, and it would be fun.
See, all right. I got to go check them.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
We
see ya. Don't forget February 3rd, Rochester, Stutjohn Con. I'm going to be there getting a VIP table. If you're interested in going and sitting at the table with me, let me know. I think it's the same thing as last year. There'll be 3. I'll have 3 empty seats. So the first 3 people that one person has already emailed me about it, so they have their seat. But if you're going to come, but you got to commit. I can't have an empty seat at my table. It looks bad. Okay. All right. All right. See ya. What are you laughing about? Hello, test.